viewers, Reverend Dr. J.W. Morrison, theologist. One thing is for sure, and that is with the narcissist, the aging narcissist and the younger narcissists, when they're colluding and collaborating together, they do not want to be brought out into the light. When they realize that somebody has woken up to the game, to their hatred, to their hostility, which is going on underneath the surface, they covertly hide it from outsiders. They retreat back into the shadows of the darkness. They have to, at some point, begin a process of elimination upon the person that they know has consciously seen the hostility that they possess. Now, the sad part about this is a lot of people are in this situation having an intimate relationship with one of these family members. And if you don't play the game, you are just not going to be, you are going to be assassinated. You're going to be psychologically, characteristically assassinated, and they're going to, one's going to spectate, which is the one that should stand up and say, hey, this ain't on. And at that point, you need to jettison all contact. Now, with a couple of them, I've sent videos that have been opportunities for them to stop and think about the way in which they live. But when you get to my age, which is 50, 60, really, I don't think people are going to change. I've seen these women that have come into my life, and they have began to heal. Their whole lives began to change. These people were in darkness, deep, deep darkness. And they were coming into the light. It was like a vampire getting to a point where it could come into the light, which is almost an impossibility. You can't, by nature, take a vampire into the light. I know it's only a picture of what I'm talking about, but it's true. And I've watched these people bathing in the light for the first time in possibly years and years. They're bathing in it. But the hostility coming from the triangulated family members, or whatever the family members that have got influence over these people, will work overtime to sabotage anything positive that's happening for the other family member, that's robbing the other family member of their emotional supply. That means one way or another, no matter what the effort, no matter how hostile it looks, no matter how overt it is when it happens, these people, these interferers, will relentlessly, determinedly, tirelessly work to sabotage the relationship. Now, I've watched all this. I've seen it from its infancy stages right up until its most hostile stages, where I've seen adult boys with tears in their eyes standing there 1 minute saying that you're a good bloke, and then the next minute they're just totally assassinating who you are behind your back because they're cowards. And what they want you to do is buy into their delusion. They want you to fire back. They want you to engage in the combat. But the problem with that is there is no war. It's all a delusion and a manipulation on the part of the family member to win back the other family member that is having the intimate relationship with somebody else. I've seen these young men, 20, 23, 24, 25, whatever ages they are, they're men, they're not boys. They're treated like little boys, and they got their mummy running after them like she's their little wife. It's really, really horrible. And the mother pretends that they're their little mini husbands, and, you know, they wish that he was the man that she always had. It's real delirium. Just they're living a delirium, which is just a incomprehensible fantasy. And you see these young adult blokes, right? They're weak as they're not going to work a hard job or anything like that. They look for the easy way out, and that's why they're so calculated and viciously malicious. And what you've got to realize is a lot of these people, these older children, late teens, 20s, 30s, they learn this behavior off their parents. And the parents are unable to bring any positive development to these people because they've taught them the evil behavior. And it's blatant. It's not by accident or anything like this. I've seen these little imposters, because they make out they're your friend, but they're just little demonic imposters, selfish little brat imposters, jackals. Fainting. They'll put on sicknesses. They'll complain to the mother that they're not getting enough attention, and that the boyfriend's taking their attention away, the mother's attention away from them. These are grown adults. They'll come down or up wherever I've seen them all do this. Mum, I've got a headache. They'll make arrangements with their mother, and these mothers are stupid enough to go along with it on date nights, and the boyfriends walk out. I walk out. You see, I want to please. I really want to please. That's the object of it. But I'm a bit of a rebel when it comes to this rubbish. Yeah, I'll do my bit and I want to please, but if you push me with this nonsense, I just up and leave. Because no, we shouldn't have to put up with this sort of intolerable behavior. It's immature, infantile behavior on the part of the mother, the father, the son, the daughter, whatever the combinations are where this emotional incestual enmeshment is taking place. No. I've seen these people interfere in their mother's dating life without any conscience whatsoever at all. And these women, and I'm sorry if any of you are listening to this, you need to wake up. Or find someone that's just going to go along with the game. It's just going to go along with watching your adult children being sooks and sulks and interferers and hostile and rude and underdeveloped. Because it's damaging. Most of all, to you. And it's a waste of time for the people that come into your life. You're better off just getting pumped and dumped or whatever you can organise for yourself, because you don't know how to operate with somebody that knows how to build. You just don't know how to do it. You just don't understand what that means, because a lot of these women have been neglected and abused. And the problem with it is, you, the outsider, will get the blame. You will get the blame. You will get the blame for whatever's going on. You can just spectate, mind your own business, do all the right things. I remember the last one said, "Why didn't you fix it?" And that was the worst thing she could have said to me. I thought, yeah, I'm going to fix it right now. And I told her to get her stuff and don't come back. That's the point they drive you to. And do you think these little brat adult males care? No, that's what they want. That's what they want. They want the breakup. They want to do everything they can to get their mummy back. That's what mummies boys do. They interfere in everything. They sulk, whinge, backbite, ruin. That's what simps do. Simps are the most dangerous males on the planet. They just ruin everything. They wear you out. And so my advice to you is, if you're listening to this and you've gotten this far, if you're in a relationship with a parent or a child, adult child, or whatever the case is, and they're enmeshed with their mummy, or mummy's enmeshed and made her son a little husband, walk away. Let somebody else deal with it. Because these brats, these bastards and bitches that they're making, will not have any interest or input into the relationship in a positive way whatsoever. Because the first thing is, it's actually got nothing to do with them. And this is how stupid these single mothers are. The whole key to your key to finding out what you're getting into is the lack of boundaries. There are none between the mother and the parent. There's none. There's no boundaries. There's none. So when it comes to try and resolve things to get some sanity in their intimate relationships, they can't, because they're too enmeshed with their family members, and it'll just go backwards. You'll get the initial love bomb stage where everything's going good, but from there on, these people expose themselves because it just deteriorates. And it's the most horrible, narcissistic behaviour that I've ever seen. It's just destructive. It is destructive. And they just go back to their dirty little old ways, because they don't end up with anything, most of them. They end up with nothing. They're too self-centered. They spend decades, the older ones, the aging ones, spent their decades wasting their money. They didn't use their money properly. They used it on drugs. And a lot of these people are on drugs and they're the usual self-abusive people that are pumping chemicals into themselves. And as they get older, they start to panic because they realize that they're not going to be able to work for the rest of their life. They'll probably have to retire younger. And they've abused themselves for decades. And they're getting to the point where they're getting angrier, more frustrated, and they can't see a light at the end of the tunnel. They have to work. They realize they're going to have to work for the rest of their lives just to pay rent. The children don't contribute, and if they do, it's intermittently. They're all in debt. They're pumping the nicotine and other chemicals into themselves like food. You can't help them. You can bring them into the light. You can bring them in. You can bring them into the light. But they just won't stay there. They'll shrink back into the darkness and into the shadows. And they'll want you in some way or another to fall into the darkness as well. That's what they do. I'm Reverend Dr. J.W. Morrison, theologist. Bye for now.